When we talk about the metaverse, what we're really talking about is a future probability, a future where we interact and engage in virtual environments as our consumer and social preference. Now, we are primarily focused on what the world will look like in the next 3 to 10 years, what possibilities will exist, which will enable a new era in how we engage with and ultimately provide value back to customers. So I get it. The future is by its very nature unfamiliar. It's unknown, and that can be uncomfortable. So in the work that we do, we adhere to the same power laws as early stage venture capital, which means of all the things that we're unsure of, the things that we find hard to imagine, the things that we might even poke fun at or laugh at, there's a 92% chance that you're right. There's nothing there. But our job lies in the 8%. The 8% that will be absolutely disruptive and transformative to how our customers live their lives and how we evolve our businesses. So when we're talking about working on the front lines of foresight, we got to use a little bit of hindsight. And so I'm going to take us back in time to 1996, when many people were getting email for the very first time. And they could never have imagined a future where the consumer preference would be to buy a car online than a dealership. That would have been absolutely laughable. And now the trend is going that way, and we have companies like Carvana that are worth $20 billion. And as we start to fast forward a little bit further to 2006, when many people were just getting their first smartphone, we could never have imagined that the consumer preference would be to meet your life partner on a cell phone rather than, say, like a bar. That would have been absolutely laughable. Or to even imagine that the consumer preference on where to buy and sell publicly traded stocks would be on a cellular device and not on a terminal or at a desktop. That would have been absolutely laughable to most people. So we know that this massive transformation that came was predominantly led by what we now call digital natives and mobile natives. So let's look at present day, and let's look towards the next 10 years. And when we look at what was the hottest Christmas gift, here in the States at least, this Christmas, and what was the #1 app downloaded in the App Store at the end of the year, it was Oculus. And so when we think about, and we want to fast forward 10 years from today, when that 15-year-old who got that Christmas gift this year becomes a 25-year-old consumer, they might very well grow up to be what we end up calling a metaverse native. And now imagine how laughable it might seem to think that the consumer preference will be to buy cars or find their partner in the metaverse, or to even do like future retirement planning with your advisor there. Anything is possible. And what's most important here is that this potential future is not improbable. And for that reason alone, it's worth spending time there, watching, learning, but more important than anything else is trying. To be an early adopter is often, it's uncomfortable, it's inconvenient, it can very much feel alone in terms of like mass adoption, but we got to know if there's a there. We got to go after that 8% that could have that potential to be massively transformative and disruptive to core businesses. That's it.